All right, welcome to tonight's city council meeting. If I can ask you all to please rise for tonight's invocation. Tonight's invocation will be given by Reverend Amanda Dosher of St. James Episcopal Church, and I'll ask you to please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. Almighty God, Heavenly Father, we thank you for the abundance of gifts you have given the people of Fairhope. We pray today for your wisdom and courage upon our mayor and city council to make meaningful and fair decisions for our city. Give them compassion to understand the needs of all the people of this community. Give them a sense of peace and trust as they work together for the common good. We also pray for our first responders and all those who put their lives in danger so that we might live in safety and peace. We ask you to comfort those who suffer and grieve from any sickness or adversity. May your love and blessings rest upon us all so that we may continue to become the people you call us to be. All this we pray through your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Reverend. Appreciate you coming out. All right.
Jack, before you get going, I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda to add item number 34, which is the development agreement we discussed in the work session.
Okay.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to amend the agenda to add the development agreement as item number 34. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, please say nay. All right, the agenda is amended. And we'll give you some more details on that as we get to it. We had an action-packed work session, didn't we? All right. The first item, or second item now, would be to approve the minutes of the regular city council meeting and the work sessions which are held on February the 20th. Does anybody have any additions, deletions, or changes to those minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve as submitted.
Second.
Okay, have a motion and a second to approve as submitted. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, say nay. All right, those minutes are approved. Thank you. Mayor's report. It looks like a recognition of K9 Bauer and his retirement. Where is he?
I don't know. He should be here.
Yeah, okay.
He's probably chasing somebody. First of all, I just want to tell y'all thank you for allowing us to come in here and do this, to recognize our officers' milestones, even if it's the four-legged ones. So.
There's Killer.
Great dog.
Put down the red carpet.
Everybody knows Bauer.
Aw.
He does this every time.
Everybody get nervous back.
He does this every time he did his funeral.
People get nervous back.
He's like, what are you doing?
Now, Jack, don't get nervous. I'm sure you've seen him before.
So it's my privilege to stand before you today as we honor the distinguished career and well-earned retirement of K9 Officer Bauer. Today, we recognize not only a highly skilled and dedicated working dog, but also a true guardian, a loyal partner, an irreplaceable member of our law enforcement family. From the very first day Bauer put on the badge, he served with unwavering dedication and courage. Throughout his career, he has played a vital role in protecting our community, assisting in criminal apprehensions, detecting narcotics, locating missing persons, and ensuring the safety of both officers and civilians. Time and time again, Bauer has demonstrated remarkable skill, instinct, and an unshakable commitment to duty. Beyond his professional accomplishments, Bauer has been a steadfast companion to Corporal Andrew Babb and a beloved presence within our department. The bond between a K9 and their handler is one built on absolute trust and loyalty, and there is no doubt that Bauer and Corporal Babb have formed a partnership that extends far beyond the job. As Bauer transitions from an active duty to a well-deserved life of rest, play, and belly rubs, we know that he leaves behind a legacy of service and sacrifice. While he may be trading in the patrol car for a cozy spot on the couch, the impact he has made on our community and department will never be forgotten. Thank you, Bauer, for your years of service. May your retirement be filled with all the treats, toys, and love you deserve. You've earned it.
Your baby Bab right there.
I do have two other things I would like to present as well. We do have a plaque here for Bauer. On it, it says appointed March of 2017, retired February of 25, and then it lists out his stats. He had 3,180 training hours. He deployed for 37 tracks, conducted 161 area searches, 124 felony arrests, 231 misdemeanor arrests, 4 SWAT deployments, and 3 apprehensions.
Wow.
He's been a busy dog.
God bless you, son. You the man.
And then there is one more thing we wanted to present you. I don't know if you remember Tommy Harris. He was the one that worked with the magistrates during our Alcott stuff. You met him at Streets.
At Streets at the lunch. Oh, my goodness.
He told you what he wanted, he told you what he did on the side, and that was draw.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, wow.
That's
That's
great.
awesome, dude. Joe Bauer.
It does. Wow. That's great. What's your attention?
So congratulations.
All right, thank you.
Thank y'all. Thank you.
Chief, who's the lucky person that gets to take care of Bauer now?
He goes home
Do
with
you
Bab.
get to? Oh, awesome.
He'll hang out with me and
All right.
table scraps.
Oh, very good.
His future is table scraps.
There you go. All right.
He ready to go now. He want a treat. He wants something in his pocket.
Did anybody have anything else for the mayor to report tonight? Yeah, the mayor's on business right now. I couldn't be here tonight.
Got treats.
Okay. Next item is public participation for agenda items only. 5 is a public hearing, but if you would like to speak to the council on agenda items 6 through 34, which was added at the beginning of the meeting, if you'll come to the podium and state your name and address for the record, we'll give you 3 minutes to address the council. Okay, seeing no one for public participation for agenda items, I will close public participation for those items and remind everyone that we will give you another opportunity at the conclusion of tonight's meeting to bring anything you wish before the council. Council comments. Councilman Martin.
Well, there's a good baseball going on this week, all this week. We have a tournament in Fairhope. It's a beautiful day. It got a little cold today, but it's called the GCC, and we're hosting it here at our park. So the games will be going on most of the days throughout the early part and in the evenings. Our ball club plays mostly around that 4:30 time every evening up until Thursday. So from today all the way till Thursday, Grissom out of Huntsville, Tennessee, team out of Tennessee, all over the nation are coming into town to visit Fairhope to play baseball. So if you don't have anything to do, you're off one of those days, go out and check the team out. I think it's good weather and good ball. That's all I got, Council President.
Okay. Councilman Conyers.
Well, I mentioned it in the work session. I'll just say again that Rob, director of the library, and his wife Laura had their baby girl just last week. Everybody's home and doing well, and just wish them congratulations.
Yeah.
Councilman Robinson?
Sure, thank you. First, we concluded the Mardi Gras season in between our last meeting and tonight, and I just wanted to recognize our city employees, our public works, and our police department for creating such a great atmosphere for people to come over and enjoy the Mardi Gras experience and feel comfortable doing so. In addition to the baseball Corey talked about, Saturday is supposed to be opening day for Fairhope Youth Baseball, so I'd ask that all of you pray for sunny weather over the next 7 days so that these boys can get to enjoy that. Some of them for their last time on opening day. That's it.
Councilman Boone?
Yeah, if y'all missed how good the staff did for the Mardi Gras, you're welcome to come to the Arts and Crafts Festival this week and see how well they do that during that time, because they do a fabulous job. Y'all come out and support the Arts and Crafts Festival.
I thought I was gonna get through everybody, and nobody mentioned arts and crafts, and I didn't even know you were awake down there, Kevin. Anyway, no, it's one of my favorite times of the year, so come out and enjoy the festival. Is Paige still here? We didn't have time in the work session. Paige, if you're in the lobby, if you could come in, I see some movement. Maybe she is out there taking pictures. Well, council, I'll bring this up to you. And we had people, we had representatives from FIF and the Pelican's Nest and the Art Center and the high school talking about art earlier. And we do have the art festival this year. And I know that they have a shuttle that shuttles people to certain places in town. And I know that the Art Center has reached out to me on a number of occasions and asked if the shuttle, and I know the police are all out there, that they don't want them going down Bancroft because it's dangerous, but the shuttle driver last year came to the Civic Center parking lot, and I would just ask that they could pick up people when they get all the way to the very northern end of town or to the festival, and a lot of, people are too tired or they're elderly or, they have an injury and they can't make it back to the center of town or to the other side of town where they may have parked. And I would just like to be able to use the downtown parking shuttle to shuttle people back to the center of town or to the south end of town. So I don't know if I need to make that a resolution later to make sure that happens, but I'd like to see that happen. Anybody have any problem with that?
No, that seems reasonable.
All right.
So that
Somebody
would be-
want to make a motion to that effect then? Use the downtown shuttle to pick up people at the.
So moved.
So moved.
Yeah.
All right. I got two motions. I need a second.
Second.
I second.
All right.
Yeah.
Jimmy, motion.
Motion by
Kevin, second. All right, discussion?
Yeah, so you're asking for the shuttle to be the main point of pickup would be this right here?
It would be right out here on
Right,
this
and so
corner.
just make
They
that
come
public.
down the Church Street. It's safe. They can come in this parking lot and they can go back out that way.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just letting people know.
That's right. We're going to need to let them know.
Yeah, just letting people know.
Okay. Yep. All right. Any other discussion? Okay. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. All right, motion carries. All right. Number 5 is a public hearing. This is an ordinance amending zoning ordinance number 1253 at the request of the applicant Jay Broughton on behalf of the owner, Talawampa Properties, for conditional annexation to R1 low-density single-family residential district. The property's approximately 5.2 acres and is located at 0 Gayfer Road Extension. Mike?
Good evening. As you said, this is
Let me, hang on, just,
Huh?
let me have somebody introduce the ordinance, please. Okay, thank you.
all right. So as you said, this is a request to annex to R1. The property is located on Gayfer, just west of Bishop Road. Currently, the property is vacant. We heard this at a previous council meeting where the request was for R2. After discussion, it was decided, the applicant decided to amend that request to R1, which are 15,000 square foot lots. It was re-advertised, and here we are tonight. On the screen is the zoning. You can see that the county has it zoned as RSFE. It's zoned to the east as a PUD, RA to the north, and business to the south and to the west of the property. January 27th is when we heard this previously. With the advertisements, we're back here. Again, that request is for R1, 15,000 square foot lots. Staff recommends approval for the conditional annexation to R1 of Talawampa Properties. The applicant is with us this evening. If you have any specific questions, or I'd be happy to answer them on behalf of staff.
What is RSF in the county now?
RSF is their 80,000 square foot lots.
80,000 square foot lot.
Yes, sir.
Council, questions? Okay. We'll open up the public hearing. If you'd like to speak to this item, if you'll come to the podium and state your name and address for the record, you'll be given 3 minutes. Okay. I'll close the public hearing. Council, what do you prefer? Let it lay over?
Yes.
Just let this lay over for final consideration at the next council meeting. There was no rush, was there, Mike, that you know of?
Not that I'm aware.
Jay, do you know?
Our druthers would be to go ahead and get this passed and approved. So that would
Yeah,
that'd be great with us. But if y'all got any questions, I'd be happy to hear that too.
yeah, there's no emergent situation that we would have to, something that's a deadline that we're meeting that would fail the project or anything like that, correct? Yeah, right, okay.
There's always deadlines.
That's right, I understand, but
I
nothing.
can tell you, we got some council members. It only takes one no for immediate consideration. I don't think you're gonna get a unanimous vote tonight. So
Yeah.
I don't hear an emergency situation, so we're just gonna let this
That's right.
lie over till the next meeting. But we love you, Jay.
We
Come
do
back
love
and
you.
see
Love y'all
us.
too.
We
Appreciate
do
it.
love you, my friend, but, yeah.
We'll tell the people that you tried. All right. Moving on to number 6, this is an ordinance of annexation, a city of Fairhope property located at Section Street and 705 Twin Beach Road in Fairhope, Alabama. This contains 15.146 acres, more or less, and you see the tax parcels. This was the property recently acquired by the city of Fairhope from the Baldwin Board of Education. So this is not a public hearing. I think we know all about the old Anna T. Jean School property.
Let me introduce it.
Go ahead and introduce it.
Yeah, let me introduce the
Okay,
ordinance,
good.
Council President.
All right. All right, does anybody need another description of that?
No, I
Did you
think
hear
we're-
from Mike?
No,
Let
let
this
it lay
lie
over.
over till
Yeah.
the next meeting? Okay, we wouldn't do Jay like that, would we? I was talking about Jay
That
Broughton,
Jay.
not
That's
that, not
Jay.
you.
That
I know,
Jay.
but you know that
Yeah.
that's puts a lot of pressure on me.
That's right. Okay. Item 7 is an ordinance amending ordinance number 522 and repealing and replacing ordinance number 1779 on the Parking Authority, Section 20-31. Said parking authority or committee shall be composed of 7 members, and all such members shall be residents of the city of Fairhope, Alabama, and over the age of 21 years. Somebody want to introduce this to?
I'll introduce it, Council
Okay.
President.
So this is an ordinance just to come in compliance with the legislative act that that allowed the formation of the Fairhope Parking Authority. We had made a change to that several months ago, and we need to change it back to be in compliance. So, any questions about that? Okay, we'll let this lie over for final adoption to the next meeting as well. Number 8, an ordinance to approve an application from Richard T. Barrett for a franchise agreement for tennis and pickleball at the Mike Ford Tennis Center. Mr. McDowell, you had a change you'd like to make to that? Will somebody introduce that, please?
I'll introduce the ordinance.
Do we need to reintroduce it after we make the change, though?
I think the change is fine. It's it's just 2 little Scribner's issues that need to be addressed in the contract itself, and will need to be changed or initialed by the franchisee and by the mayor as well. And the questions, or actually the changes are in section 4.2. The indemnity provision in line 3 needs to start reading: judgments or damages rising out of the operation of the tennis and pickleball instruction franchise, and then cross out the coaches insurance group, because the coaches insurance group is not indemnitor in the contract. And then page 6 of 9 of that contract, it's not an NA, I don't know what the P, there's some initials there. It says no transfer or control of the franchise agreement or business, whether by force or by voluntary sale, lease, or assignment. That is, that's basically you can't move the actual franchise from one party to another, but it needs to read that way instead of just somebody's initials sitting in there. Those are the only 2 changes on that contract that need to be initialed by the new franchise holder, and then also by the mayor before she signs it. And I'll give this to Lisa.
I'd like to make a motion to make the amendments on that,
Okay.
on the ordinance, to read as our city attorney has pointed out to the city clerk.
And Lisa, do you want that reintroduced with the amendments? Does it need to be? Okay. All right. Any others, Marcus?
No, sir.
Any questions, council?
Call the amendment. Nobody, that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
We gotta
second.
finish the vote. I made a motion, but we hadn't had a second or a call.
Okay. All right. We have a motion and a second to amend the, I guess that's the franchise agreement, right? Okay. All right. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor of amending the franchise agreement, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, say nay. Okay. And we'll let this lie over for the next meeting as well. A lot of ordinances tonight.
Out of ordinance.
Okay, number 9, site plan review and approval. It's a request of the applicant Civil Consultants on behalf of the owner Cordy Cave and Mitchell for site plan approval of Express Oil Change Planters Point, Lot 8. The property is approximately .99 acres and is located on the northwest corner of State Highway 181 and State Highway 104. The Planning Commission unanimously recommends approval of SR 2406.
All right, good evening. As you said, the Planning Commission at their December 2nd meeting unanimously recommended approval. This is an express oil change in the Planters Point Shopping Center that's located on the northwest corner of Highway 181 and Highway 104. So that property is approximately 1 acre and is zoned B2 with a approximately 5,700 square foot building. On the map is the aerial on your right and the zoning map on your left. Currently, all the parcels in front of this Publix development are empty. On the screen is an image taken from Highway 181. On the left hand is isolating lot number 8. It is on the northern side of the development, 1 lot south of that northern entrance into the shopping Publix center. On your screen is the site plan, pretty much exactly what you would expect from an express oil change. It has your service bays on either side. There is a multi-use path that will be constructed with this site that is located in between the building and Highway 181. Detention for the site is provided in a detention pond in between the building and Highway 181 as well. The parking meets the parking requirements per the zoning ordinance. 2 additional spaces beyond is a true grid, a pervious type surface. The lighting and mechanical equipment are screened. The dumpster enclosure is located on the south side of the property and has the appropriate screening to go along with it. On the screen is a color rendering of the proposed building. Copy of the landscaping plan. You will see I do have a couple of conditions of approval for this. One, there were some crepe myrtles that you'll probably have noticed as you're driving by. Those crepe myrtles were installed during the original subdivision, and when the applicant for Express Oil did their survey, it turns out that those crepe myrtles were not in the same location as predicted or as shown on the plan for the subdivision. Those trees we've got with the developer, they have been located or been relocated to the appropriate location. There will be some additional planting with the express oil change coming into play. The right-of-way trees, as I said, one will be removed on the Rockwell Boulevard side. That is the internal road of Publix where this lot will be accessed from. As with all the street trees, the entrance has to go somewhere, and one of the entrances here conflicted with one of the street trees that were there. The applicant will need to confirm with the city horticulturalist regarding all of the tree credits. And the gaps in between the right-of-way and the tree clusters will need to be replanted and shown on the revised landscape plan, kind of in those open areas between the tree clusters, planted with some overstory trees. The drainage, it's a kind of unique to Planters Point development. There's notes on the final plat that the Planters Point subdivision lots, other than the lot that Publix is located, must have their own self-sufficient drainage, and their drainage does not tie into the Publix underground drainage system. So all of these lots that are out here will independently have to create their own stormwater detention ponds for that site's particular needs. Lot 8 does drain northwest to southeast into the roadside ditch off of Highway 181. The applicant did receive confirmation from AlDOT that the applicant does have the right to discharge stormwater into AlDOT's right-of-way. And it was determined that a dry detention pond was the best method for reducing the peak runoff from the site. And it's collected via storm pipes through the parking lot and then discharged into the dry detention pond. Erosion control plan was submitted and is acceptable. The sidewalk, as I mentioned, there's the 12-foot wide multi-use path. There does need to be an ADA accessible pedestrian connection provided from the internal parking area to that multi-purpose path along 181. It was in our staff report, and we had a meeting last week with the owner and their landscaper, their landscape architect on March 6th via conference call, and was explained in detail of what it was that was needed for that. Utilities are provided and are available. ADA requirements have been met. The traffic numbers were provided and do not exceed those that were presented during the subdivision case for these lots on the outside. As I mentioned, the dumpster is screened. The Planning Commission had a few list of conditions. Several of those have been met, but we do recommend conditional approval with the following conditions, eliminating 2 of those items with 3 conditions. 1, their signage must conform to the sign ordinance, provide a revised landscape plan which locates the crepe myrtles on the plan where they currently are, confirm the tree credits with the city horticulturalist. Overstory trees shall be planted in the open areas of the frontage, and update the submitted tree protection plan with their permit application. And lastly is that an ADA accessible pedestrian circulation connection shall be provided from the internal parking area to the multi-purpose path along Highway 181. And I'll be happy to answer any question that you may have on behalf of staff.
Mike, just to be clear, those were staff conditions, right? That's not planning commission conditions?
Planning Commission recommended approval per staff recommendation. So they were one and the same condition as you see on the screen. 1 and 4 from that meeting have been satisfied with those remaining 3 conditions left.
Okay. And it says the following must be accomplished before city council review of the site plan.
That was on you're looking at the staff report itself.
Okay.
Yes, that was in the staff report packet, and then we met with the applicants again for them to get further clarification, and they're working on the revised plan. They revised it once, did not have that connection made, and working out the location of where those crepe myrtles were from the original development to now was a feat to do to get coordinated between the Express Oil and the developer and staff itself. So we felt it prudent to go ahead and get this on with the minimal changes that need to be made to these plans.
So council, if any one of you are so inclined to make a motion to approve the site plan, I would ask that you make it with staff recommendations.
Yeah, so moved. We'll make a motion to approve the site plan, including the staff recommendations.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Any questions? Mike, did you have anything else?
That's all that I have.
Okay. All right, you have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, please say nay. All right. Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, item number 10 is a site plan review and approval at the request of the applicant, Chris Lieb, on behalf of the owner, FST Encounter Development, for site plan approval of Fusakli's. The property is approximately 0.2 acres and is zoned B2 General Business District. The property is located at the northeast corner of Highway 181 and Highway 104, Lot 4, and is approximately 1.0 acres. The Planning Commission unanimously recommends approval of SR 2503. Mike?
Yes, sir. So this was recommended approval by the Planning Commission at the February 3rd meeting. This is for Foos and Just Chilling. This is Lot 4 in the Encounter Development, which is located across the street from the previous case on the northeast corner of Highway 104 and Highway 181. The property is zoned B2 and is approximately 1.5 acres in size. The proposed building for the Foos is approximately 5,900 square feet, with the Just Chillin', a ice cream shop at almost 1,200 square feet. On the screen, you can see the aerial on the right and the zoning map on the left, very similar to the last case. The area highlighted in yellow on the right is the proposed location. This is an image of the plat where it's Lot 4, 2 lots north of Encounter Drive, which is the lower entrance into the Encounter development. On the screen, the Foos is on the bottom side of the screen. North is pointed up, with the proposed building on the north side of the property as the Just Chilling. They do have a common drive to access the lot to go to both residences. The setbacks for this development vary. B2 requires a 20-foot front setback. With the highway construction setback, there's a 25-foot front setback on Bushel Drive. There's a 125-foot highway construction setback that relates to from the center line of the road to this point. It's a 0-foot side and rear setback per the recorded plat. As I said, there's 2 buildings proposed. Just Chillin' reaches a 17-foot height, and Foos at just shy of 20 feet. The buildings combined take up almost 11% of the total lot. The bottom of this screen is the elevation view of Just Chillin'. Next is the main elevation view for the Foos building. The site plan does include interior sidewalks from both buildings that get to the concrete sidewalk along Bushel Drive. For this development, different than the previous case we learned, the multi-use path was actually woven in through this development to allow that multi-use path to connect from the southeast corner of the property all the way up to the northwest corner of the property to give that pedestrian access all the way through, and actually connects to the developments to the north and can connect to the future developments to the east. So they are providing a pedestrian connection that will get them to the sidewalk and ultimately to that same multi-use path. All ADA requirements have been met, mechanical equipment screened. The sign permit should be submitted for a separate sign permit. The drainage has been accounted for the entire Encounter development through that subdivision case. Thus, there is no retention or detention facilities on these individual lots. There's a large detention pond on Lot 12 of the subdivision that created this lot where the drainage is directed to. Utility plan has been submitted and approved by the appropriate providers. Similar to the across the street, the traffic study was not warranted, but they provided the numbers that provided their trip generation, and that number total for the whole development has not exceeded those numbers that were submitted during subdivision approval. The parking spaces are under 50. There's 48. There's 13 spaces that are above the required, falls within the 20% allowed. Those parking spaces are pervious. The lighting plan meets the requirements of the zoning ordinance. If you look in the report that was presented to the Planning Commission, one of the conditions of approval was to amend that parking schedule. It showed more than 50 spaces being provided and lights that were taller. Real quick, that is our zoning ordinance. Once you get to 50 spaces, that is the magic number where your parking lights have to increase to 20 feet. With it being less than that 50 spaces, that number needed to be decreased to 10. Those plans have been revised and reflected in the information that you received. Again, here's the landscaping plan with the landscaping between the building and Highway 181, along with the additional landscaping within the site, including screening around the dumpster and dumpster pads. Planning Commission recommended approval to the City Council with conditions. However, those conditions have been met, so tonight I stand before you with a recommendation of approval with no conditions. And I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. And Chris Lieb, the engineer of record, is with us tonight, can answer questions on behalf of the applicant.
Questions?
Yeah, Mike, explain to me, how does this, it says two buildings facing each other? What is that?
Yes, sir.
I don't understand.
A building on the north side and south side with a parking lot in between them.
Literally, okay. It just didn't show that in there. I didn't see it.
I can go back to
blind.
the site plan. There's a building on the north side. It's a skinny, longer building.
Oh, that's a
On the
building?
north side,
Ah.
and then the Foos Hackley's is on the south
Got
side.
you.
So they share a common drive. To get to the ice cream shop, you'll take a right, and to get to the Foos Hackley's, you would go in and pretty much stay straight or leftward.
Yeah, if I may, Council President.
Yes, sir.
My next question would be, what, the community would like to know, most of the time I get these questions, what triggers a traffic study and what doesn't trigger a traffic study, especially when you got a fast food and you got drive-throughs and things like that, so we'll know what we're dealing with.
So typically, the traffic study is something that's required and provided for at the time of subdivision, and which was true in this case. We had a traffic study that looked at what the zoning of the property was and had the developer at that time give a traffic study of some assumed uses that were going to be on these properties. That subdivision plat then reflects, hey, look at this when it comes into review for different businesses. It's very possible that there is one lot left in a development like this, and when they come in, those 50 or those 100 trip generations trigger a new traffic study to be revised based off of what the current uses are inside of that development. Right now, what we're doing as these site plans come online, we are taking basically an inventory of what the uses are. They're giving us what their trip generation is, and we're comparing that with the overall number that was provided at the time of subdivision. And when that number is exceeded, then basically the one left holding the bag will have to, or the developer will have to provide a updated traffic study that tells us whether or not any further improvements needed to be made, or the improvements that are there are enough to allow the uses that are all inside of that development.
Okay. So you're saying we already have a traffic study? I'm a third grader, talk to me like a third grader.
Yes, traffic study was conducted at the time of that the entire property was subdivided.
And so at some point, it may be tripped to do another one,
That's correct.
and we're on top of that.
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good, thank you.
Further questions?
No, sir.
There were two conditions recommended to the planning commission, so when someone wants to make a motion for approval, I'd please ask that you
Said
make
they'd already
it.
been
Those
cleared.
those conditions have been satisfied.
Okay. Oh, you haven't got that.
Sir,
What was that?
those conditions have been satisfied already.
Oh, they've been
So the
satisfied, okay,
approval is for approval, no conditions needed on this one.
okay.
I make a motion to approve, no conditions needed.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. All right, motion carries. Thank you, Mike.
Yes, sir.
Okay, item 11. We didn't get to this in the work session. Is there someone that can speak to this? I mean, I can figure it out, but City Council approves the selection by Mayor Sullivan for professional consulting services for downtown parking study to Walker & Consultants, and hereby authorizes Mayor Sullivan to execute a contract with a not-to-exceed amount of $50,000. Now, I'll say, this is two steps in one. We usually select, and then they go out and they get a quote, and they bring it back. We could split it up if we wanted to. Hunter's not here tonight. Do you know why they put that together, Lisa? Was there
I think I may have gotten an email.
We got an email about it. It
okay,
was just because of the separation of time, so it was trying to be efficient, to be as,
well, I'd like to know that I'm getting a job and what I'm going to charge at the same time too, but that's not usually the way we do business.
yeah.
I'll go on your cue, though.
We can table it, or we can do, I mean, it's not like.
Well, we
it's
don't
a-
have to table it. You could just approve the selection, but they're going to come back with the same quote.
Yeah, it's gonna come, okay, yeah, I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
I received.
I
the
think
email.
they got the cart ahead of the horse, though.
Yeah.
It makes it kind of hard to say, we don't like your quote.
Yeah. So moved.
All right.
Second?
All right, I have a motion and a second to approve the selection and authorize the mayor to execute the contract for $50,000. Any discussion?
Just to clarify, with a executed contract not to exceed.
Yeah.
Right.
Correct.
It's a not to exceed, that's why.
Right, thank you. All right, any discussion? Just for the record, I don't like doing it that way, but I'll go along with you guys.
Well, discussion, this is something that we need, parking is a hot subject here in our beautiful town. All of us up here knows it, so I think this is a step in the right direction to kind of get a foothold on some real numbers of what we're looking at as far as going forward and our ideologies and our comprehensive plan on what parking looks like in Fairhope. I think the more information we have, the better decisions we can make, and I think this is the first step in that direction.
Nobody's telling me what I'm getting for $50,000, though. I have no idea what we're getting for $50,000.
Oh, it's a
The
study
person's
on
not here to
downtown.
tell us, the mayor's not here to
Right.
tell us, and we're just
Yeah.
signing a blank check.
Yeah.
Well, not a blank check, we're signing a check for up to $50,000, but I just,
Yeah.
Council
I'm
President,
not, I mean, I'll go along with you guys, but I just, I don't
does the
like,
memo not explain it?
what's that?
Does the memorandum not explain it?
Yes.
The memo?
Might.
I don't have it
Never- Like I said, we didn't have time in the work session to go through that.
So we can talk about it now.
Yeah,
So,
data review.
data review,
okay.
stakeholder engagement,
meeting.
parking demands, parking policy, pricing, management, recommendations, reporting. Yeah, and it looks like Walker Consultants. Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
so,
So they're gonna look at some data, they're gonna have a meeting, demand scenarios, what's that? Policy, pricing, and management, what's that?
well, what I would suggest is before anything is finalized, as far as ink on the line, is that they come back to us on the 24th, or someone come to us, or Hunter, whoever has this information, and kind of talk to us about it, to the public about it.
It's gonna be, I mean, I know it's $50,000, but, which may not seem like a lot on this agenda, but it's too late then. If you vote for that motion, it's too late.
For them
But
to
like
tell
you
us
said, it's
what
not
we-
gonna change what they quoted.
Right, I mean, no, we're just missing someone kind of give us a personal introduction to this particular agenda item, that's all. The crux of it, the guts of it will not change,
Okay.
in my opinion.
Do we have a motion in a second?
Yes, you
Yes.
do.
All right, any other discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Say nay. That was a very reluctant aye from me. Item number 12 is a resolution the city council hereby authorizes and selects Sherry Sullivan to be the voting delegate during the annual meeting of the Alabama League of Municipalities.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, say nay. All right, motion carries. Item 13 is a resolution the city council adopts the following recommendation from the Street and Traffic Control Committee for a crosswalk at South Mobile Street, crossing at the Elks Lodge and the American Legion. Option B with a cost estimate of $9,005. And Richard covered this in the work session. This was discussed in detail, looked at several different options in the Street and Traffic Control Committee. Mayor and I and police chief are all members of that, planning, building. So just trying to make that intersection there at the American Legion, Gambino's and Elks Lodge
Needs it.
safer.
I'll make a motion, we approve the resolution.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay. Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. All right, motion carries. Item 14 is a resolution that Mayor Sullivan is hereby authorized to execute a contract with Paul Carpenter Davis Architects for professional architectural design services for the new police precinct with a not-to-exceed amount of $97,540.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Discussion? This one, we authorized her to select them in the last time, and we knew a good bit about this project, so the difference. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, say nay. All right, motion carries. Item 15 is a resolution. The City Council hereby approves and authorizes the City of Fairhope to execute a memorandum of understanding between AltaPoint Health Systems Incorporated and the Fairhope Police Department to improve responses to individuals experiencing mental health crisis, reduce the need for police involvement in non-criminal behavioral health-related situations, and ensure better access to appropriate care by providing 5 iPads equipped with MyCare, that's the software. The police department will reimburse AHS $425 per month for the use of the iPads. And I did clarify that is for all 5. The $425 is for 5. That's not each. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion? Corey, you want to share your thoughts on that? I thought there was some good thoughts you gave in the work session.
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, I think this is what it looks like, the path going forward, you know, in a microcosm. What we're doing here, what the chief has done, I think is excellent. We got a lot of situations that they deal with. There are a lot of mental cases. And the problem is we don't have the criteria to handle these patients, I say patients, criminals / patients, the way they need to be handled. And we kind of put them in a hole. We put the system in a hole. And I think this is the right direction going forward to kind of separate those two things between mental health and crime and actually get these people taken care of medically to resolve some of the criminal issues that they have, which result from a chemical imbalance. So what the chief is doing, hopefully, is a model for other people around town, and hopefully will lead to a point to where some of our representatives, Brother Simpson is working on it drastically right now, and some others above us that represent our state of Alabama that know about this, and hopefully we'll have some money coming down to facilitate facilities to place these people that are deemed necessary to be detained at that time. So I think it's a great direction forward, and I applaud the chief and the mayor and everybody for doing it, AltaPoint, for putting this together.
Okay. We have a motion and a second?
Yes, you do.
Boy, I'm losing track tonight. It's terrible. All right, we have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Okay, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. All right, motion carries. Thank you. Item 16 is a resolution. The City of Fairhope approves the procurement of the renewal of the Motorola Astro System Advanced Plus package for the Police Department for Motorola Solutions for a 3-year contract, total cost of $117,978.38. This equipment is exempt from formal bidding per the Code of Alabama. Motorola Solutions is a sole source provider. And Chief Hollinghead also addressed this. We're slightly over budget on that, but not much on that. As she briefed us in the work session. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the procurement.
So moved.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, say nay. All right, motion carries. Item 17 is a resolution. The City Council authorizes acceptance of the Department of Housing and Urban Development's HUD Community Project Funding Grant of $3 million for the Fairhope Airport Industrial Park and authorizes Mayor Sherry Sullivan to sign all necessary documents. We didn't get to this in the work session, but, you know, we've been tracking this for a while. This is for to make improvements such as an industrial, light industrial road, along with all the infrastructure, curb, gutter, water, sewer, underground utilities, hopefully. And this is going to be a little bit short. It's probably going to cost us more than the $3 million to make those improvements out there, probably somewhere in the $5 million range. But we are in talks for more grant opportunities. But not only that, if we get 30 cents, or I'm sorry, 60 cents on the dollar, we can make those lots out there so valuable that we should be able to sell them and, you know, worst case break even on the cost of the land and the cost of the improvements. And the idea is to put business there to begin with, not for us to make money on the land. So So I think we'll be in good shape. So I'll entertain a motion to authorize acceptance of the grant.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. All right, motion carries. Thank you. Item 18 is a resolution. The City Council approves the selection by the evaluation team for professional engineering services for the Airport Industrial Park environmental assessment to Volkert, and hereby authorizes Mayor Sherry Sullivan to negotiate the not-to-exceed fee to be approved by the council. And this has to be done in conjunction with the grant, so.
Make a motion, second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to allow the selection of Volkert. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. All right, motion carries. Item number 19 is a resolution. The City Council authorizes submission of the Gulf of Mexico Alliance's increasing participation in the Clean and Resilient Marina Program grant in the amount of $17,000, and authorizes Mayor Sherry Sullivan to sign all required grant application documents. The funding will be used to purchase educational signage, fuel dock spill equipment, clean supplies for slip holders, and a weather station. These items were suggested during the Clean Marina Certification Inspection, and no match is required. I'll entertain a motion to authorize the mayor to submit the grant application.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Okay, is that going to be the GOAA?
Yeah.
I was wondering if we need to ask legal for.
I'm afraid to say it. We may not get it if we upset somebody.
No, they are changing the name.
They what?
The name has been changed, it's the
Gulf of America.
Alliance.
Do we need to change the resolution to the Gulf of America Alliances?
No, I think we're good.
We're good?
Yeah.
All right.
Good, dude.
I just don't want them snatching any money from us.
No, it's,
Good question.
All right, we got a motion and a second.
Yes, you do.
All right, hearing no further discussion, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. All right, motion carries. Thank you. Item number 20 is a resolution. The City Council authorized acceptance of an Alabama Transportation Rehabilitation and Improvement Program 2 grant in the amount of $2 million, and authorizes Mayor Sullivan to sign all necessary documents on behalf of the city. The funding will be used to construct dedicated turn lanes on Valana Avenue at the intersection of Greeno Road, acceleration and deceleration lanes on Greeno Road, and signalization of the two roads. The city's share of the project will be $389,678.73 for preliminary engineering construction costs beyond grant funding and utility relocates. Mr. Johnson pointed out in the work session, we also, of that $389 and some dollars, we have $80,000 from the developer. We do not believe we are going to have to relocate a lot of utilities, if any, and that we think the cost will be much less, maybe somewhere in the order to the city of $120,000. So that's the good news. But this would allow up to $389,678. So I will entertain a motion to authorize acceptance of the grant.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
We've been waiting on this one. I'm glad to see this one come.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Hearing no further discussion, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, please say nay. All right, motion carries. Item 21 is a resolution that Mayor Sullivan is hereby authorized to execute a contract with Christian Preuss Landscape Architect for professional architectural services for the redevelopment and restoration of the corner near Julwin's, formerly Bancroft Corner, formerly something else, and we don't know what to call it. But Richard said, please come up with something with a not-to-exceed amount of $36,531.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Any further discussion?
Yeah.
I like
so-
Jillian's Corner.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Jimmy.
I like Jillian's Corner. That's the oldest restaurant, I think, in Baldwin County. Not to promote a certain business, but that is a unique thing.
Yeah, so I thought we called it the Creamery Corner. I
It's
thought I
been
saw
called
red.
that because there was a creamery in that vicinity.
That name came up as well, I thought. So that wasn't stamped down, I'm
I'm
assuming.
gonna put that on the work session to talk about. We're gonna come up with a name.
Yeah.
All right. We'll put you guys in a ring and We'll name it whatever the winner wants it.
It's in there. It says
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say nay. All right, motion carries. Thank you, council. Item 22 is a resolution that Mayor Sullivan is hereby authorized to execute a contract with Goodwin Mills and Kaywood for professional architectural services for the design of the Welcome Center envelope with a not-to-exceed amount of $53,416. And as we all heard in tonight's work session, we have a lot of needs to fix that building envelope and do some much-needed improvements to the Welcome Center where our archives reserve, our historical archives reside on the second floor. What are y'all doing? What is going on over here?
We're gonna make it better.
I make a motion, we approve the resolution.
Second.
We have a motion and a second? All right. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, please say nay. All right, motion carries. You see what happens, Lisa, when we have 34 items on the agenda?
Yeah, get delirious.
We get a little crazy up
Yeah,
here.
get delirious.
Item 23 is a resolution to award a bid to Blade Construction for White Avenue Park Improvement Project with a bid proposal not to exceed $118,668. I think that we're going to have a little surplus left over that they may use for lighting, but they'll bring that back to us if they want to add that. So
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to award the bid. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, please say nay. All right, motion carries. Item 24 is a resolution. The City of Fairhope approves the award of the request for quotes for labor, materials, and equipment for the removal of a large tree at the right-of-way on the base side of the residence of 603 North Mobile Street to Big Green Tree Machine for a not-to-exceed project cost of $8,500. The Public Works project will be less than $100,000 and therefore does not need to be formally bid out. Additionally, the City of Fairhope will approve a transfer of $8,500 from the account, as you see in front of you, general maintenance. Looks like it's going from one account to the same account. Kim?
It's two different cost centers.
Oh, there's a 6 in there, isn't it?
1350,
Yep,
1360.
I see it now. You got it. You got it. All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the award.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Yeah, I think we're going with the green machine, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
The big green tree machine. Okay.
Any other questions? Okay. Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. All right, motion carries. Thank you. Item 25 is a resolution. The City of Fairhope approves the award of the request for quotes for labor and materials for the sewer tie-in from Pier and Mobile at Fells Project to A-Long Boring for a not-to-exceed project cost of $52,490. This Public Works project will be less than $100,000 and therefore does not need to be formally bid out. I'll have to get a little more words in that one, Lisa. All right. Darrell talked about this in the work session as well. I'll entertain a motion to approve the award.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Okay, motion carries. Item 26, a resolution. The City of Fairhope approves the award of the request for quotes for labor and materials for the repair of the Travis walking floor trailer for the sanitation department to Gulf City Body and Trailer Works for a not-to-exceed cost of $29,958.50.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, and as Kim and Joyce pointed out, that will come from the maintenance budget. So we have a motion and a second. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. All right, motion carries. Thank you, council. Item 27, the resolution, the City Council authorizes the submission of the Alabama Department of Environmental Management's Alabama Recycling Fund for the purchase of 6,000 residential recycling carts at a cost of $312,000. This is a 100% reimbursable grant with no city match.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor of the grant submission, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. All right, motion carries. Thank you, council. Item 28 is a resolution. The city council approves amending bid number 24-16 to add $5,000 to cover the actual cost of the invoices for the flame retardant uniform shirts annual contract and increase the total bid amount from $45,000 to $50,000. Kim described this. We just were short some uniforms.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve amending the bid. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor of amending the bid, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. All right, motion carries. Item 29 is a resolution that Mayor Sullivan is hereby authorized to execute a contract for extension number 1 of bid number 24-16 for flame retardant uniform shirts. Annual contract with Image Solutions USA with an annual not-to-exceed contract of $50,000 per the terms and conditions of the original contract. And so this was, the other bid the other contract was almost up, so we know now to award $50,000 for this year. So I'll entertain a motion to authorize the mayor to execute the contract.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, please say nay. All right, that motion carries. Thank you. Item 31 is an application for a restaurant liquor license by Drew Burrows for Burrows, Barnhill, and Matthews LLC, doing business as Fairhope Social Club, located at 14 North Church Street in Fairhope, Alabama. Chief Hollinghead said in a work session that all the paperwork's in order, and they should be good to go. I'll entertain a motion to approve the application.
So moved.
Second.
And we have a motion and a second to approve the application. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. All right, the motion carries.
Council President,
We did
you
30.
you skipped 30.
Yeah, do 30.
No, we'll go back to 30. Did we get 31 passed? Did you
Yes.
guys
Yes.
vote on it?
We did.
All right.
No.
Number 30 is a request of Sandy Tormone, Board President of Baldwin County Trailblazers, requesting the use of sidewalks and grassy areas of Utopia Park on Saturday, May 17th, 2025, from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. for their annual Chalk the Trail event, with an alternate rain date of May 18th, 2025. The event raises awareness as well as funds for the Baldwin County Trailblazers. I'll make a motion to grant the request. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to grant the request. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, say nay. All right, motion carries. Item 32 is an appointment to the Airport Authority. The airport nominee is Mitch Scrametta and Susanna Freeman for a term ending March 31st, 2031. I know I believe it was the last meeting of the one before. We had two very long-serving members that were recognized by the mayor, and these would be replacements for those two individuals. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the appointments.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. All right, the motion carries. Congratulations to Mitch and Susanna. Item number 33 is an appointment to the Parking Authority. Nominee for a 4-year term is none other than Councilman Jimmy Conyers. I'll entertain a motion for the appointment.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? I would just say that, we wanted a council member on there. The Parking Authority wanted a council member on there. Jimmy has an office in the center of town. He's there every day and probably in the areas needing discussions more than the rest of us. So all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Okay, motion carries. Item 34 is a development agreement. I'll go ahead and read the resolution. It says, be it resolved by the governing body of the City of Fairhope, Alabama, that the City Council of the City of Fairhope, Alabama hereby authorizes Mayor Sherry Sullivan to execute the attached development agreement with Daniel Realty Company, LLC. You should all have received copies of the development agreement. If you would like for me to read any of the recitals, a lot of legal talk throughout. I'm going to ask our attorney, Mr. Williams, will you please just, hit the high points of the agreement, please?
Certainly. So this is the agreement between the City of Fairhope and Daniel Realty Company, where the city is agreeing to provide availability letters for the development of a proposed 18-hole golf course and residential component south of town in the Barnwell area. The proposed development still would have to go before the Baldwin County Planning and Zoning Commission for approval, but part of that process requests availability letters from the city utilities that serve that area, which is water, sewer, natural gas. The site is a component of multiple parcels that the developer's in the process of acquiring and has under contract. And one of the parcels already has an availability letter for water and sewer from the City of Fairhope for 375 lots. This agreement would lock in the development of the golf course development as well as the surrounding residential component at a maximum of 310 lots, which would consist of single-family homes and/or some rental cottages to be associated with the golf course. The golf course is proposed to have a clubhouse with some restaurants and a pool with some amenities. The agreement would obligate the developer to extend both water and sewer improvements to serve the site, as well as the donation to the City of Fairhope of an acre parcel of land that the city at no cost will have the benefit of receiving, and then can perform test wells because the city's outside water engineer consultants have identified that area as an ideal area of land for a potential water tower to serve this proposed development, but also others in the community at the south part of town. And so the developer, as part of this agreement, will donate that land, make the necessary water and sewer infrastructure improvements, as well as the developer has committed to annex the entire site into the City of Fairhope if and when the city boundary is contiguous or there's another legal means for the property to be annexed into the city. In the agreement, the developer has kind of set forth the plan as well as agreed to limit the amount of lots tied to the development.
You want to talk about any of the other improvements that they would need to make as far as sewer mains, water?
It's in here.
Lines and
Yeah,
things like that?
So I can read it, or you
Okay.
go ahead. Yeah, so what they're on the hook for a 6-inch sewer force main from McGowan Drive to development, upgrades to the Roar lift station, and other extensions that follow the water mains that are necessary for adequate delivery to the development. There's another 12-inch water main from the south side that will come down via County Road 3 to the actual Greeno Road and then to the development site. Another 12-inch main from Greeno Road, County Road 24 intersection to the site via County Road 24, and shall satisfy all standard performances and maintenance bonding requirements pursuant to the city's water and sewer specification standards and regulations. So that's a lot, and they're tying all our water to make sure, so that's a lot.
So this agreement is memorializing all of the improvements that they're agreed to make as a condition of receiving this availability letter, as well as their agreement to convey the land at no cost, the 1-acre parcel, to the city, as well as their agreement to annex in if and when they become legally permissible to do so.
Okay. All right, council, I think we might want to get into a discussion, but I'll entertain a motion for approval of the development agreement.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All right, discussion?
Say, as I said earlier in the work session, I think the fact that you're having a net reduction of a couple hundred houses, like 265 houses, and going to a less dense development, I think that's going to be considered a win for the community. I think people are going to be happy with it. I think it's a fantastic project, what's at least been presented to us so far.
I agreed with him in the work session. 2 hours later, I'm still with him.
You hadn't waffled on me yet?
Hadn't changed yet.
I don't think we got to this at 5:15 in a work session.
Close enough.
It was like 5:45. Now, I'd like to just comment that, aside from the 265 lot reduction, I mean, anytime you take up land with a golf course, you're making it, you're making it a park. You're making it recreation, and, so anytime you add amenities to a city like that, you're enhancing the quality of life for people. So it goes just beyond. I think that the reduction of the density of the housing that was proposed on the county land there, that's huge, but so is the fact that you're going to have amenities. But you're not just going to have amenities. You're going to have a super, just first-class community, not just, a community done the right way. There's a lot of land there. And then it's just icing on the cake if we are able to ever annex this into the city, if we ever are able to legally do so. If you just think of the ad valorem, and I know that kind of sounds like greed, but it helps to have ad valorem taxes to pay for other amenities in our community and support our community in many other ways, whether it be recreation or whether it be infrastructure. So for all those reasons, I think it's a win-win. And I said it in a work session. We appreciate the engineers and the attorneys and the developers, the owners, working with the city. It went pretty smoothly. It was a rush. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was a rush. There was a lot of work that needed to be done, but hopefully we can get this done.
And to clarify that, the rush was because they're under contract and had some obligations that the deadline was such that it had to be
Hard money.
proposed and considered pretty firmly, so.
Right. Okay. Any other comments? Okay. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, please say nay. All right, motion carries. Thank you, council.
Make a motion for adjournment.
We have public participation for non-agenda items, so if you'd like to address the council, if you come to the podium, state your name and address for the record, you'll be given 3 minutes. Yes, ma'am.
Wow, 3 minutes. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Great. My name is Carmen Potts. I'm a retired teacher after giving 50 years to education, and I have a master's degree and a doctorate upon participation. I had Riviera Utility come into my property with a contractor, and then a week later, I did not let them put the smart meter on my house. A week later, then Riviera Utility came again personally with two huge guys. And in all my years teaching, I was never bullied. And these two men came up to me and told me, we're putting this meter on. And nothing you can say will change our minds because we're doing it. And then they threatened me by saying, if we don't put it on, we will cut all your utilities off and all your services off. Well, at that point, what can you do? You don't want to be without water. You don't want to be without electricity. It was kind of cold, too. And you don't want to be without things that you need. But I continue to research, and before I leave today, I will be passing out a paper to all of you that says, Why Smart People Do Not Want Smart Meters. That's the title that I put on there. I researched it. As a teacher, I research a lot, and I've researched throughout the years, and I researched it, and it's a health hazard, not only to regular people, but to children. And when I found out it was a health hazard to children, that's when I stepped up to the plate because I have been an advocate for children all my life. There's also a Federal Engineer Act law that was written in 2005 that states clearly, state smart meters are to be offered, and it says it 3 times, offered, to residential customers, not mandated or forced, and this was forced on me. So there's even a federal law that says this, and they're surpassing that somehow. I have no idea, but Nowadays, federal laws can be broken, I guess. The radio frequency that makes the people sick, they said, oh, only 1% comes in. But guess what? More than 1% comes in because it's constantly coming into your house 24/7 every single day. And what they don't speak about is about the dirty electricity. That's where the problem is with the dirty electricity. The EMF, electronic magnetic fields that are radiated from there, are very high. We'll be taking count of that, and my husband knows enough because he's built houses and stuff, that he will be seeing how high it is. If it's so high that it will affect our health and our children's health, we need to stop this. Or you need to mandate your electrical people to include a filter that will filter this out of our house and that won't come into our house. Something has to be done. My main goal is to opt out. There's 15 states in the United States that have opted out. We have the choice as citizens to say no to this. Any questions?
Did you say two men from Riviera Utilities?
Correct.
That's not,
They're not us.
that's not us.
Well, I know it's not you, but you're going to put it on too, so.
Okay. I got you. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, we're.
I just wanted to make sure that we weren't
Same
bullying
exact
anybody. That's what that question was.
100%. Thank you.
Okay. All right, so here's some articles you can look at.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, thank you, Ms. Potts.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for your teaching service.
You're welcome.
Is there anyone else for public participation?
Hi, my name's Rebecca Titford. Since item 34 was not on the official agenda, I guess, until we added it tonight, I just had a couple of questions for clarification. The letter of availability that was approved, I understood that part, but the issue of annexation and the contiguous properties that are discussed there are still kind of, in my mind, kind of up in the air. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah.
So it kind of came up at the other meeting that we had a couple of times ago about the ordinance, about, the developments that would be outside of the city ordinance. And I was just wondering, these impact fees that are collected when they're not in annexed areas, do those go to the county, or will Fairhope be able to claim any of that? Because it seems like to me, things that are outside of our jurisdiction, those impact fees go to the county, and that money doesn't come back to the schools. Is that correct?
No, the county does not have impact fees.
Okay. They don't collect those if you're outside the jurisdiction of Fairhope. They don't get those. Okay, well, that's interesting. Okay. So in this case, if they're not annexed, we would get any impact fees from that development?
If they were.
If they were annexed.
If they were, but if they weren't, since that area, it's still kind of up in the air, who would get those impact fees?
If they don't annex in, there would be none collected.
There's no impact fees for what that would put on city services?
There are no impact fees if they are not within city limits.
That's correct.
The county does not
Okay.
collect impact fees at all, and we
Okay.
are not allowed to collect them for the city if they are not annexed in.
But would you agree there is an impact cost with the
Which is
development
why
there?
they're- which is one reason why they're providing land for a
Just
well
1
and
acre.
a water tower and a 6-inch line and a 12-inch line. And that's why it was important to mention how much infrastructure that they're paying for. Aid to service is what we
Okay.
term that.
Well, my question was just about impact fees,
Sure.
because once a developer is finished, they leave, and sometimes there are residual problems with these developments, and then the people who live there are strapped with those costs. And sometimes the city of Fairhope kind of gets roped into that because maybe by then they're annexed, you know. I hope they'll be annexed right away. But that issue of contiguous property, city limits and stuff, I just don't understand that part of it. I think I'll do my research, but thank you very much for that clarification.
Thank you. Great question.
Anyone else? Anyone else for public participation for non-agenda items, or agenda items if you want to have a go back? Okay, seeing no one, I'll close public participation. I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. All right, we're adjourned. Thank you.